Today I want to share with you 5 reasons why you might be struggling to find your personal style. I've been on a huge personal style journey for the past couple of years, and a lot of these reasons that I'm sharing with you today are things that have held me back in the past from finding my personal style. So I think what I'm talking about today will really help you if you are on your personal style journey, or even if you're just feeling as though your current personal style needs a bit of a revamp. Before we get started, if you have anything to add to today's video, if I haven't mentioned it and it could be helpful to other people as to things that might have held you back in the future from finding your personal style too, make sure to comment them in the comment section below, because that is such a great place for all of us to learn from each other. I certainly learn so much from you guys there. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. All right, so what is holding you back from finding your personal style? I wanted to start off with something that you've probably heard of before, but it is a great reminder because I personally feel as though this is something that is quite hard to get a grasp on, and that is being hung up on your fantasy self. If you haven't heard of the word fantasy self before, I like the way that Marissa from A to Zen Life explains it, and she says that a fantasy self is a highly idolized image of not only who you want to be, but also who you want others to perceive you as being. So in terms of dressing and your personal style, your fantasy self is when you think you want to be this type of person. And if you wear certain items, you will then become that person. In 2011, Francine from Miss Minimalist wrote a blog post and she gave a few fantasy self examples, which also might give you a bit of clarity. So your fantasy self is a culinary diva who has pots, pans, gadgets, and gizmos to whip up any dish or confection under the sun, when your real self would actually rather order takeout. Your fantasy self is also a socialite with a closet full of cocktail dresses with shoes and bags to match, when the social event of your real week is actually going to the coffee shop. She then goes on to say that storing our fantasy selves stuff isn't fair to our real selves. Not only does it make us feel like failures, but it takes away from the space and the time that we can devote to uncovering our true passions and potentials. So the sentence uncovering our true potential is what we want to focus on in terms of personal style. If you are hung up from chasing your fantasy self's wardrobe, you are holding yourself back from uncovering your true potential with your personal style. So for me, I have 2 fantasy selves that relate to my wardrobe. The first is this like effortless French girl, and the second is this carefree 70s hippie. So in the past, both of these fantasy selves have made me buy a lot of things that weren't right for me and my lifestyle and weren't right for my wardrobe. And when I brought them in, they didn't match with anything and they really confused my style. However, there is something that actually sticks out to me in terms of my fantasy selves, and those are the words that I used to describe my fantasy self. So an effortless French girl and a carefree 70s hippie. So the words effortless and carefree are definitely 2 words that I can take from my fantasy self and inject into my personal style without having to actually copy the outfits of effortless French girls. So for me, I would describe my personal style as effortless and carefree. That is the kind of vibe that I want to create, but I don't necessarily have to indulge in the entire fantasy self of an effortless French girl. So I think we can rethink the fantasy self. Instead of ditching it completely, we can kind of try to understand why we are so obsessed with the fantasy self, and then pull elements of style from that fantasy self that actually fit in with our current lifestyle and our current personal style and where we want our personal style to go. Alyssa Beltempo talks about elements of style so much on her channel, so I will link her channel below. She's really good at seeing an outfit and understanding that she loves that outfit, but she doesn't necessarily have to copy that outfit from head to toe, and she chooses the elements of style from that outfit and then recreates her own, aligned with her values, her lifestyle, and her personal style. I'm sure you all know who Alyssa Beltempo is. If you don't, welcome. She is the best. She is a divine human being. Let's move on to the next thing that might be holding you back from finding your personal style. I'm sorry to say it, but I'm just gonna say it. Maybe it is because your wardrobe is a mess. Sorry, but I'm coming from a good place because I've actually been there plenty of times. I used to take up 2 wardrobes in the main bedroom and the second bedroom of our house. My stuff was still overflowing. It was shoved in there. There were things at the back that I had no idea what was going on. And this was a time in my life where I just had no idea about personal style. I did not know what I wanted. I did not know what my personal style was at all. And then I discovered minimalism. And I'm certainly not a minimalist, but I adopted a couple of principles from minimalism to like cut my wardrobe in half. And doing this really helped me open my eyes to what I liked and helped me to see what I had, basically. And then I also got my first retail job when I was like 25, 26, 27, around that age. And I learned how to fold clothes properly. I learned how to present clothes properly, and that made me kind of treat my wardrobe with a little bit more respect too. And although my current wardrobe doesn't necessarily look like a storefront at all times, things are in order so much more. They're folded nicely, they're not shoved in at the back. All the hangers are facing forwards, all the items are facing the same way. All this organization and just general cleanliness of my wardrobe has helped me to understand my personal style more, because I can see things. And then that means I don't go out and irrationally buy things that I don't need or that don't match with my current personal style. So if you feel as though you need to do a declutter to get a bit more clarity on your personal style and the direction you want to go in, I do have quite a good tip for you to share, something that I've been doing for the past 6 months or so. So what you want to do is you want to have your yes, your no, your maybe pile, which is very common. But then what you want to do with your maybe pile is you want to grab your maybe pile and put them in a box and put them away in storage. You then want to store them for around 3-4 months maybe. Then you will come back to them and then make your decision on whether those things are going to be a yes or a no. So the Minimal Mum on YouTube, she calls this the time will tell box. And I just love that name, because time will tell. Time will tell you whether you have thought about that item in the past 3 months, whether you felt as though you needed it, whether you completely forgot about it at all. And it will just help you make those decisions so much easier. You'll look at it and be like, oh my God, I had no idea I had that. I did not care for that at all. It's a no. Or, oh, I've missed that so much. Like I really could have used that here, there, and there, and whatever. Or maybe in those 3 months, you actually went back into your storage box and grabbed something out because you were missing it. So time will tell, and that maybe box in storage, put away somewhere, will help you to make those decisions easier. And then at least you won't feel as though you might regret getting rid of something. Okay, so the next thing that might be holding you back from finding your personal style is that you are not willing to experiment. Something that my parents always taught me when I was growing up, and that has really stuck with me, is that we always learn from our mistakes, because you can't live in fear about making mistakes about your outfits. Experiment and play dress ups at home. Take images of your outfits and then look back on them weeks later and see how you feel about them. And when you're out shopping, try on something that you would never usually reach for. Try something completely different. See what it's saying, like see what you feel. Do things like this so that you can make mistakes and then you can learn from them. Experimenting and playing around with new ideas is such a great way to start developing the practice of developing your personal style. If you watch Queer Eye and you know Tan, who does all the help with the people's personal styles and revamping their personal styles, there's a common thing that I've noticed that these people say when he gives them an outfit, and they say, oh my gosh, I never would have chosen this for myself, but I love it. That sticks out to me all the time when I watch Queer Eye. I think if you are struggling with your personal style, that is exactly what we need to be doing. We need to try something that we wouldn't normally gravitate to in a shop and just try it on for fun. It might be really bad, but it might not, and it might surprise you, and it might open your eyes to something different, and you might start actually having fun with your personal style. Learn and move on. That is tip number 3. All right, moving on. The next thing that might be holding you back from finding your personal style is that your life is currently in transition. A couple of years ago, I'd personally felt as though I lost my personal style, and I did this whole YouTube series on it. And that is when I learned that personal style is a journey, and that journey is not linear. It is bumpy. And the reason it's bumpy is because we change as people over the course of our lives. We change jobs, we change cities, we change lifestyles, we have children, we expand, we grow, and our personal style will change with that. So maybe your life right now is in transition, or maybe something big has happened in the past couple of years in your life, which has kind of silently killed your personal style without you really noticing, because it's happened so slowly, you've kind of just been oblivious to it. That is how it happened to me. So I feel as though it could easily happen to anyone else. And I think people who work consistently on having a good personal style are really aware that changes in their life can disrupt their style and change their style. So they have to kind of be on top of that. Okay, so the next thing that might be holding you back from finding your personal style is that you might be trying to copy someone. Now, don't get me wrong, we all know that I am a big lover of recreating Pinterest outfits. I've made plenty of videos on them on my YouTube channel in the past. You can check them out. However, I think there are two different variations of copying an outfit. There's the extreme copy and there is the creative copy. The creative copy finds elements of style in an outfit or similar pieces that they already own and create a new look. The extreme copy, however, says, I need those exact shoes, I need that exact bag, I need those exact trousers, I need that exact top, and they completely forget to think about the colors, the shapes, and their current wardrobe and what might actually suit them, and they just buy that outfit because they think that copying someone is going to help them have better personal style. So what I'm trying to say here is that copying someone from head to toe holds you back from finding your own personal style because it really restricts your creativity. It doesn't make your brain think really hard about what you truly like. And I feel like I can just hear people saying to me right now, but Em, I'm not a creative person. Wrong. Sorry to point, but wrong. I have to disagree. I think everyone is a creative person. I love this little snippet from a blog post written by Joe Giordano about why we are all creative. We are all students. From an early age, we get introduced to schooling and the proper way to learn how to read, write, and do arithmetic. It is the method of learning that helps us be creative, not the subject matter. Through the lessons, the homework, the projects, we figure out how to assimilate the material so that we can understand it in our own way. So it's the same with personal style. Allow yourself to be creative and the doors to your personal style journey will open wide. So please comment below what has held you back from finding your personal style in the past. If it's going to help someone, please let us know so we can continue this conversation. Got some more personal style videos lined up for the future, so if you want more like this, please subscribe. And if you want to watch more from me, there's several options up on the screen now. The best way you can support this channel is by giving this video a like. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to spread kindness this week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.